Okay, good morning. Okay, so can we start now? Five
Morning, ma'am.
minutes so that we end early because we have a lot of topics to be discussed today. So we're going to finish one module of our topic for this day and then another module for lecture again next week. And then after next week, we'll have now the Java programming. So upon checking um, what do you call it? The DIP of the object-oriented programming, we're going to use a Java. Okay, there are also online compilers that we can use them for our uh, programming editor. Okay, so we are not going to use any Python since you have discussed that one during your programming one. So, ngayon naman, ang object-oriented kasi it's more on the Java. Okay, so, we'll, I am going to introduce you later on the Java programming. But before that, we have to start over or give you first an overview, okay, of a computer programming. So, hindi na siya introduction to computer programming because this is not a computer programming class. I know that you have already discussed this one during in your programming one. So, I'll just give you an overview of what is computer programming. Okay? So, Daniel, please check the attendance. Ako
Yes, ma'am.
mamaya sa
Gawin na po.
last part. Okay, sa pagkamatapos. So, as of the moment, we are how many? 26. Okay, so we're still waiting for 10 more. I think 35 kayo dito or 36. Okay, so last time we had already started an intro to object-oriented programming. How class, what else? How class, objects, and inheritance, okay, perform or process in a C++. So C++ kasi yung ginamit example na program na we had used last time, isn't it? So, but for today, we're going to have an intro first, background on the Java programming. What are these variables? What are these data types? And what else? Data types, variables, comments, okay, in Java. So how are we going to use them in Java? Okay, and we will also start some codes on the Java today. And then after that, we'll have the again next week another lecture again next week. And then we can start the hands-on.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Si Kuya Kiterbis po, hindi po siya makaka-attend kasi some part of Ilocos, sir, kasi ma'am, walang kuryente, ma'am.
Ay, ganon. O sige, it's okay. Paki-note, Daniel. Anyway, i-upload ko naman yung topics natin in our class teams. They can have that one to read later on pag meron na silang kuryente, ha?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Note na lang ni Mr. Tamayaw.
Okay na, ma'am.
Okay. So now, can we start now so that we can end early? Okay, so habol na lang yung iba. 27 naman na tayo. Konti na lang yung wala, okay? Yan. Okay, so we have the overview of computer programming. So let me just give you an overview. So what are the learning outcomes after you have after we have finished this module? So you have to state the principles of computer programming, compare the generations of programming languages, apply the steps in the program planning and development, discuss the features of Java technology such as JVM, JRE. Okay, differentiate Java applets from Java applications. Okay, and then apply the steps in creating Java program using the programming environment. Okay, so in face-to-face, we're using a Java with IDE. Do you know what's the meaning of IDE? Integrated Development Environment. Okay? So, this one, when we say IDE, ito yung meron siyang user interface. Parang Visual Basic. Isn't it? Or Visual Studio. Di ba ang Visual Studio or the Visual Basic is meron kayong ginagamit na IDE na interface niya. Okay? So, ganun din ang Java. Kung face-to-face sana tayo if you are in the computer laboratory. But we are online and we need to use online compilers, okay, for the Java, for the meantime. Yan. So, these are all what we call Java program using the different programming uh, environment. So, I will just show you later on a sample environment of Java. But we're going to use an online compiler. Okay? Yan. So, overview of computer programming. So, the computer language is defined as a code or syntax, okay, in which used to write programs or any specific applications. You know that one because you are second year already and you have discussed this one in programming one. Okay, so the computer language is used to communicate with computers. Broadly, the computer language can be classified into three categories. So there are three categories in computer language. So we have assembly, we have machine, and we call it the high-level programming languages. So we're going to differentiate later on what are the differences of these classifications or different classifications of the computer language. So programming is language is a set of words, symbols, and codes that enables human to communicate with computers. So it is used to write application programs which are used by end users. So kayo yun, tayo yun, or other end users. So example of programming languages are, we have a lot of programming languages, isn't it? And there are new programming languages today that are not yet familiarized with us. Like say for example, meron yung R programming na tinatawag nila. Okay, so it's also one example of programming languages. But the most commonly now is the Python. Okay, because the Python is used, okay, for data science. Okay, when we say data science, ito yung mga, it deals with the mga artificial intelligence, okay, systems, ano pa ba, mga data analytics systems, okay? So, we have the Java, C++, Visual Basic, Python, C#, and R programming. So, we have levels of programming. Okay, wait lang ha, i-on ko lang yung fan kasi mainit na. Dali lang.
Ma'am, nakamit ka, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. So now I repeat, we have two levels of programming. We have the high level and a low level programming. Okay, so tingnan natin, we have to identify later on. So we're going to identify later on what are these high and low level programming. Okay, so we have the first generation language, which is the machine language. So hindi nyo na ito naabutan. During my days, okay, during my college days, these are the languages that we used before. So imagine, nasa first generation pa lang kami noon and second generation. So we have the machine language and we have the assembly language. Okay. Yung mga first generation languages, these are the low. Okay, low level languages like machine language. So hindi na ito ginagamit ngayon. Kasi nga kumbaga, in other words, low-tech na ang mga programming languages na ito. Okay? First and the second generation. So second generation also, these are low-level assembly languages used in kernels and hardware drives. Do you know how before we just use a command prompt or an MS-DOS for us, okay, to run the program. No IDE or no GUI before in the program. Okay? So third generation languages are the high-level languages. So these are the high-level languages like C, C++, Java, and Visual Basic. And of course, JavaScript is also included in the third generation languages. Okay? And then the fourth and fifth, or the fourth is the very high-level language. Okay? So when we say very high-level language, so these are the languages that consist of the statements that are similar in the statements in the human language. So ito na yung meron na siyang mga artificial intelligence. Okay? So ano yung mga programming languages that we are using? For that is the Perl, Python, Ruby, the SQL. Okay? Or the MATLAB or the Matrix Laboratory. And then the fifth generation languages, of course, these are the programming languages that have visual tools, okay, to develop a program. So example is the, of course, it's still included, the Python, okay, the Ruby, yung mga R programming natin, okay, and other generations that are called high-level languages, okay. Also, Java is still included. C# is still included in the third, fourth, and fifth generation. Okay? So, these are the generations of a computer languages. Okay, how is program or how programming process? Paano ba? So, ano yung napag-aralan nyo before nung sa programming 1 ninyo? Ano ba yung program life cycle? Paano to nangyayari? Anybody? Sige nga. So, we are just having an overview of what you have learned, okay, from your previous subject, just last semester, programming 1. So, in the diagram, can you see my diagram? Can you see my PowerPoint? So, how do you explain the program development life cycle? Okay, isn't it? Number 1, we have to problem definition or identify the problem first. Di ba? Kapag nagpo-programming kayo, pag nagko-coding kayo, ano ba yung unang ginagawa natin? We are identifying the problem. Kung paano siya mag-output, kung ano yung ibibigay niyang desired output, what are your inputs, how are you going to do the process? Isn't it? Tama ba? Okay. And then you have to analyze the problem. Okay? And then, number 3, you are now ready. If you already analyze the problem, you are now ready to do the coding or the algorithm development. Okay? And then, not only the algorithm development, kasi when we say algorithm, is yun na yung we have to think how the program will work or what are the processes of the programs. Diba? Okay, so for example, input 5 grades and then print the average, o, diba? Of the 5 grades. O. So, ma-identify nyo na yung algorithm nyo doon. Okay, example, G1, G2, G3, G4, G5. Okay? Plus nyo yun, tapos divided nyo by 5. So, yun na yung algorithm niya. And then, you have to code now. You're ready now to code in your desired programming languages. O, depende kung ano yung gusto ninyong program languages na gagamitin nyo. And then, after coding, we have to test and debug. Okay? If it really works. So, you will more appreciate on the program development life cycle when you will start your capstone later on sa third year ninyo. Okay, so magagawa nyo lahat, ma-execute nyo lahat itong program development life cycle. Okay? And then we have to maintain, of course, because technology really updating and changing. So we need to maintain the codes or we need to update the codes. Baka kasi merong mga bagong features na pwede nating ilagay. Okay, correct? So these are the programming processes. Okay, now that's the end of the introduction or overview, of a computer programming. So now let's move on to Java. Okay, so introduction to Java. So we have the history and background. So Java is an object-oriented programming language developed by James Gosling and colleagues at Sun Microsystem in the early 1990s. So unlike conventional languages which are generally designed either to be compiled to native machine code or to be interpreted from source code at runtime. So Java is intended to be compiled to a bytecode, which is they run generally using JIT compilation by Java Virtual Machine. Okay. So meaning to say, there is also a virtual machine for Java. Okay. So the history of Java is very interesting. Java was originally designed for interactive television, but it was too advanced technology for the digital cable television industry at that time. So the history of Java starts with the green team. Okay, so ito yung how it started the Java. Okay, it's a green team. So initiated this project to develop a language for digital services such as set-top boxes, televisions. Okay, however, it was best suited for internet programming. And then later, Java technology was incorporated by Netscape. Okay, ayan. So this is James Gosling. Okay. So, James Gosling, Mike Sheridan, and Patrick Newton initiated the Java language project in June 1991. So, the small team of Sun engineers called Green Team. So, mga engineering profession. Engineer profession sila. Okay, initially, it was designed for small embedded systems in electronic applications like set-top boxes. So firstly, it was called Green Talk by James Gosling and the file extension was GT or .gt. Okay. So after that, it was called OC. Okay, you imagine, so from green team to OC, and it was developed as a part of the Green Project. So ang daming naging pangalan ng Java bago naging isang Java na name, isn't it? So it was called Green Team, and then another one after that, it made as a Oct, and it is a part of the Green Project. Okay, ayan. So it is named in the oct tree. Okay, so why oct? Oak is a symbol of strength and chosen as a national tree for many countries like the US, France, Germany, Romania, and a lot more countries. Okay? So in 1995, Oct was renamed as Java. Okay, doon na siya na-rename noong 1995. So because it was already a trademark by Oct Technologies. Okay? Ayan. So, the team gathered to choose a new name. So, they suggested words were dynamic. Okay, so marami ding nagsuggest na naman ng mga names ng Java. Revolutionary, Silk, Jolt, DNA, etc. Okay, so they wanted something that reflected the essence of the technology. Okay, so revolutionary, dynamic, lively, cool, unique, and easy to smell and fun to say. Okay? But according to James Gosling, Java was one of the top choices along with Silk. Since Java was a unique, most of the team members preferred Java than other names. Okay? So Java is an island in Indonesia. Okay? Where the first coffee was produced. Kaya yung picture ng Java, merong kape. Ayan. Nakita nyo ba? Yan ang kanyang logo ng Java. Okay, so it was named from an Indonesian, okay, Indonesian place or Indonesia where the coffee was produced, okay, called Java coffee. Diba? Sa Indonesian yan. So it is a kind of espresso bean. So Java name was chosen by James Gosling while having a cup of coffee nearby his office. Okay? So, kaya yun yung naging name ni Java, ng Java programming. Okay? Kaya nagtataka kayo bakit may kape, bakit kape ang picture or logo ni Java because of that pala. Okay? So, initially developed by James Gosling at Sun Microsystems, which is now a subsidiary of Oracle Corporation, and released in 1995. Ayan na. So, JDK 1.1 was released on January 23, 1996. So, after the first release of Java, there have been many additional features added to the language. So, now Java is being used for Windows application, web applications, enterprise applications, mobile applications, and etc. Okay, so until now, Java is still existing in the different applications. Mapa-web man siya or mapa-mobile applications. And each new version adds new features in Java. Okay, so it also updated its features. Okay, so Java features, ano na natin ito, skip na natin. Anyway, I will upload my PowerPoint. You can read the different features. Okay, iisahin ko lang siya. Okay, simple, of course. Object-oriented. Ayan, kaya nga siya tinawag na as one of the object-oriented because Java is an object-oriented. Because there is a object, there is a class, inheritance, di ba? Polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So later on, we're going to discuss all, okay, the object-oriented in Java. Okay, so lahat nitong topics na ito. So it is everything that's an object which has some data and behavior. Okay, itong mga object class inheritance niya. Robust, okay? Java features, so platform independent. So pwede siya sa Linux, sa Windows, and sa Mac OS. So compatible siya sa lahat ng platform. Okay, secure, of course. Ayan. So that are the features of the Java programming. Okay, we have 5 phases in Java programs. Ayan, so we have phase 1 is to edit. So we create the program on editor, of course. Then after it's stored in the disk with the names ending .java. And then phase 2, you compile to Java C or the Java compiler. And then compiler translate from high-level language program to bytecodes and store it in a disk with the ending name or the class. And then we give it a load. Phase 3, it will load. Class loader, compile, read, and put those byte codes from this to primary memory. And then i-verify niya. So verify by byte codes to confirm that all byte codes are valid and not risk for the Java security. And the last phase is the execute. Okay, so Java virtual machine, if you are using virtual machine or any or online compiler, it translates those bytes codes to language, okay, that the computer can understand, isn't it? Only a 0 and 1 a computer can understand, di ba? 0111 111000, di ba? Ganyan yung napag-aralan niyo noon. Then execute the program, store it in a value primary and memory. Okay? So these are the 5 phases of Java programming. Okay, so now, ito yung sabi natin, we have the application versus the applet in Java. Okay, so Java application is just like a Java program that runs on underlying operating system with the support of virtual machine. So it's also known as the application program. So the graphical user interface is not necessary to execute the Java applications. It can be run with or without it. Yeah. Okay, so the difference between the application and the applet, anyway, we will discuss later on if we can already start the some programming in Java, we will tackle the applet in Java. Okay, so applet is a Java program that can be embedded into a web page. So it runs inside the web browser and works at a client side. So an applet is embedded in HTML. Okay, page using the applet or object tag and hosted on a web server. So applets are used to make the website more dynamic and entertaining. Kaya nga meron din tayong tinatawag na JavaScript. Isn't it? What's the use of the JavaScript in your program? If you are going to add them, what's the use of the JavaScript? Anybody? Who is raising her hand? Please raise your hand if you want to recite so that you will be given a plus points. Yes, Christian?
Ma'am, para mapaganda niyo yung magiging design ng web page mo, ma'am.
Yes. Para mapaganda niya yung design. Ito yung kanyang design. Okay, followed by the CSS. Tama ba? Okay, with the JavaScript. Ang JavaScript kasi is how the program will behave. Kung paano siya maging responsive. Okay? So, kaya yan tinatawag na Java. Yun na yung applets niya. Okay? So, it's more or it makes the website more dynamic and entertaining. Okay? Yan. Ayan, so differences. So, you can read this one later on. So, what are the differences between the Java application and the Java applet? Okay. Now, moving on. Moving on is we have to tackle now or discuss the Java environment. So, as I mentioned a while ago, there are 2 types to open your Java. Okay, you can use the text editor and console. So, when we say using the text editor and console, we can just use an online compiler. Okay, so there are a lot of online compilers of Java from the internet. So you can use any of the compiler. Okay? And then using the Netbeans IDE. Okay, so if we are going to use the what they call it, the Windows or the applications itself of Java, it we can call it the Netbeans IDE. So ito yung meron siyang GUI or the graphic user interface. Unlike the text editor is just only a text editor, and then you can only see how the program will work. Pero kung gamit natin ang Netbeans IDE, if you are going to use some buttons or any other features, kung mga GUI ang gusto nyo, pwede natin itong gamitin. Netbeans IDE. Okay? Ayan, example. So, using text editor, ito siguro yung gagamitin natin. So, depende, maghanap tayo ng maganda later. Okay, so pwede tayo sa onlinegdb.com, online Java, or jdoodle.com. Okay? And then, ayan, using Netbeans, ganyan siya. So, can you see? Meron siyang Windows, meron siyang IDE, or the GUI. Okay. So, now, moving on to the program design and structures. So, ano kaya naman ang program design and structures ng Java? Isn't it the same with the Python? So, ano na yung pagkaiba ng Python and other programming languages? Okay, so number one is we have the Java syntax. Okay, so when we say Java syntax, what is syntax again? Anybody? Hala, anong ibig sabihin ng syntax second year? Mr. Alonzo.
Arrangement of words.
Yes, yung arrangement or yung mismong codes niya doon sa loob ng program ninyo. Okay? So, the example explained, so every line, so this one, every line of code that runs in Java must inside a class. Nakita nyo yan? Nasa loob siya ng public class. Okay? So, in our example, we name the class main.java. Okay, a class should always start with an uppercase first letter. Okay? And then Java is a case sensitive. So you have to take note that Java is a case sensitive. So magkaiba po yung my class and my class has different meaning. Yung capital na my class at saka yung lowercase na my class has a different meaning. Di ba? Magkamali lang, even Python, di ba? Magkamali lang kayo ng syntax dyan, your program will not work. Okay? Or will not run. Ayan. So, any code inside the main, ayan, main method is required and you will see in every Java program. So, any code in the main method will be executed. So, you do not have to understand the keywords before and after main. So, you will get to know them a bit while reading this PowerPoint. Okay? So, just remember that every Java program has a class name which must match the file name. And that every program must contain the main method. Okay? Kita nyo yung main method niya yan? So, lahat, hindi pwedeng wala itong public static void main string, args. Okay? Yan ang start syntax ng Java natin. Okay? So, how about system.output println? Ano naman itong system.output println? Kung meron tayong cout sa C++, how is Java will output your program? So, by using the system.outprintln, so inside the main method, we can use the println method, okay, to print a line of a text to the screen. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint? Can you see my PowerPoint?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, baka iba na yung ginagawa nyo dyan, ha? Okay, so, the curly braces, okay, marks the beginning, ayan, and end. So, kita nyo dito, merong curly braces dito, tapos yung word na hello world. So, this is, anong magiging output nito? Anong magiging output niyan? Hello world.
Hello.
Okay? So, do not forget that there is a semicolon at the end of the curly brackets. So, kung wala yan, nako, hindi na naman magra-run yung program ninyo. Okay? Ayan. Sige nga. Test yourself with exercise. Okay, what's the answer? Okay, anybody please type your answers in the chat box. So, I want everybody will engage, will be more interactive in my class discussion. Okay. Those who will not type their answers in the chat box will be not recognized in the attendance. Okay, what's the answer with this? Sige nga, I'm waiting for the answer. Check ko lang yung online class ng anak ko. Okay, sinong may sagot? Let me see if you got the correct answer. Sige, ha? Okay, from si Christian ang nauna. Okay, first honor Christian. Very good si Christian, ha? Baka mag-PL ka na nito, Christian. Okay? So, system dot out print ln. Okay, correct. Very good. But, paano kaya yung lowercase and uppercase niya? So, sinong nakakuha ng correct lowercase, uppercase? Okay. Correct yung sagot nyo, but there is a correct alphabets or lowercase and uppercase that you are going to input, di ba? Okay, si Dave Iverson. Okay. Dapat capital P, ayan. So, meron akong nakita, si Julius, si Peda. Okay, he's the first one who input the correct answer. Okay, of course, Mr. Agabaw. Okay, Libaw, Christopher. And then si Gazingan. Okay. Si B, okay, B, dapat yung print is capital P. Okay? So, tandaan nyo yan, and so on. Ayan. So, very good yung mga kikipag-participate ngayon. Okay, next. So, the answer is system, dito sa first box. Okay, dot, out, dot, print, ln. Okay, so this is how you're going to output a word, hello word in Java. Okay? So, next is, okay. Ayan. So, mali lang yung aking P, pero dapat capital P siya. Okay? Yeah, next. Comments, variables, and data types. Paano naman yung comments and variables and data types natin? So, how are we going to use Java comments? So, comments can be used to explain Java code and to make it more readable. So, it can also be used to prevent execution when testing alternative code. Yes, B?
Ma'am, small letter T po talaga, ma'am.
Small letter ba siya?
Tapos L po yun, ma'am. LN. Print LN, ma'am.
Print LN, yes, that's LN. Correct nga. Okay? Okay, so we can use, so tingnan natin mamaya, kapag magagamit na tayo ng editor, later on, kung ano yung correct Okay, na syntax yan. Okay, now, going back to this slide, what are comments in program? Anybody? Are comments included in the program?
Hindi, ma'am. Pero parang siya yung magpapakita kung ano yung magiging output nung isang code mo, ma'am.
Correct. Okay. So, comments are not included in the program. Okay. So, how are we going to write, okay, or to do na hindi siya nagpapakita doon sa output? Okay. So, take a look at the next slide is, ayan, we have single line comments. Single line comments starts with 2 forward slashes. Okay, nakita nyo ba yan, yung binilugan ko? Okay, so any text between the 2 slashes and at the end of the line is ignored by Java. So it will not be executed. But if you will forget to include the 2 slashes here, okay, mai-include siya yan sa program at pwede rin magiging error din siya minsan kung hindi properly, okay, encoded yung syntax niya. Yan, so this example uses a single line comment before a line of a code. Okay, so the 2 double slash is for the single line comments. Tandaan nyo yan ha, kasi meron din tayong tinatawag na multiple line comments. Okay? So yan. So this example uses a single line comment at the end of the line of code. Okay? So, ito yung kanyang comment lang. So, this is a comment. So, he added the 2 double slash. Okay? How about multi-line comments? Okay, so multi-line comments starts with slash and then asterisk and ends with asterisk slash. Okay, maraming nagkakamali dito minsan. Okay, so magkaiba yung first at saka yung last niya, nagkabaliktad. Kung nauna si slash sa first, sa last naman is mag-end mauuna si asterisk. Okay? So, any text between these 2 symbols here will be ignored by Java. Okay, take a look at the example again. So, this example uses a multi-line comment or a comment block to explain the code. Okay, take a look at my PowerPoint again. Nakita nyo na? So, dito siya. So, first and the last. Okay? So, meaning to say, the code below print the words hello na text dyan will not be included in the program. Okay? Clear ba? Can you give me a thumbs up if you understood my lesson? Si Dave Iverson lang si Benjel. Okay, Kate, Daniel. Sila lang ba nakakaintindi? Do you have any questions so far? Okay, can we now move on to the next slide? So next is, ayan, test yourself with exercises. Okay, number 1, insert the missing part of the code below to output hello world. Okay. What's your answer? This is a comment. Okay, answer. Sige nga, type your answer. Okay, so si Dave. Very good. Ayan, Levita. Okay. Nakikita ko yung hindi nakikipag-engage sa classes ko kasi wala silang pangalan dito sa chat box. Oh. Okay. The answer is what? For the first one is double slash. And then the second one is, pwede natin gawin din siyang multi-comments. Okay? So that's how we use the comments in Java. Okay, stop now in chat box. Marami pang activities, don't you worry. Okay, next. Variables naman tayo. So what are variables? Anybody? I already discussed this one in C++ before. Sa introduction to computing, di ba? Nag-C++ tayo doon. What are variables? So just the same. Even no matter what programming languages that you're going to use, mapa Java, mapa C++, C#, Visual Basic, Visual Studio, meron pa rin tayong mga variables, integers, and data types. Diba? Ito yung tatlong kinds doon sa programming natin that we really need to memorize. Okay? So variables are containers for storing data values. So in Java, there are different types of variables. Okay? For example, meron tayong tinatawag na string. Okay, stores text such as hello. String values are surrounded by double quotes. Yan. Integer. So it stores integers, whole numbers without the decimals. Tama. And then kapag float naman is with decimals. Kapag char, excuse me. Okay? So, when we say character, so it stores single characters such as A or B. Character values are surrounded by single quotes. Okay? And then we have the Boolean. It stores values with two states. It's either true or false lang tayo. Diba? Diba, isn't it? Napag-aralan nyo din ito sa programming, programming 1 ninyo. Dapat nga sa programming 1 nyo ito napag-aralan eh, di ba? Tama ba, Christian? Mr. Lonzo?
Tapos na yan, ma'am.
Oh, tapos na
Yes,
ito.
ma'am.
Yan. So, overview lang natin kasi in Java, there are also variables na tinatawag nila and data types. Okay? So, ayan, declaring a variable. How do you declare? So, to create a variable that should store text muna tayo ha na variable or string. Okay? So, look at the following example. Yan. So, create a variable called name and type string and assign it in the value Jan. Okay, you analyze the problem. Okay? So, string name equals to Jan and then system out print niya yung name. So, what will be the output of this one? Anybody? Magtatawag ako ha. Don't say the answer. Nanggukong talagang nandyan. Mr. Tabu. John David Tabu. Please open your camera. You use your background. Tabu. Ayan, kit nyo.
Wait lang namin naayos ko yung laptop ko. Nagluloko po kasi yung mga files ko.
Ayos. Hindi na pa tayo nag-discuss. Laha, i-remove ko kayo dito sa meeting ha. So, if you will not respond immediately. Okay? So, what will be the output of this Benjel Batum?
Wait lang. Nakamute. Jan po, ma'am.
Jan. Okay, correct ba siya, Amadeus?
Yes, ma'am. Jan.
Yes. Okay, Jan. So, kasi ang sinasabi, ang hinihingi lang ng program na output is to what? To output the name Jan. Okay, so create a variable. Mag-create daw kayo ng variable name. Ang string niya is Jan. Okay, so this is how are you going to declare a variable using a text or a string. Okay, so to create a variable, next, ayan. So you can also declare a variable without assigning the value and assign the value later. Okay, so paano kaya yan? Let's say for example, int my num Okay, what is num? N-U-M, number, di ba? So, integer, okay? Int is integer. Okay, so my num is equals to 15. So, do not forget the semicolon. Okay, system out my num. Okay, what is the output? Mr. Tolentino? Oy, Mr. Tolentino, I'm waiting.
Nag-comment ata siya, ma'am.
Ano ba yan? Ngayon lang kayo magsasabi ng sira ang mic. Okay? Ngayon at may recitation. I-remove ko kayo niyan. Ayusin nyo yung mic nyo. Mag-leave ka muna, Daniel. Tapos rejoin ka. Kate.
Ma'am, ano ma'am?
Hindi, si Kate. Mag-leave ka muna tapos rejoin. Okay, so who wants to answer? Julius.
15 po yung output, ma'am.
Okay, 15. So, ganun lang ka-easy analyze ang code ng Java. Okay, so next. So, yan ha. Okay, next is so other types of variables. So, meron din tayong mga float. Okay, float. My float num. So, when we say float, yan is decimal numbers. Character. Okay, letter. Ayan. So, kapag single character, you use the character my letter. And then, boolean, my bool is equals true or false. And string, my text is equals to hello. Okay? Displaying variables. So the print ln method is often used to display variables. So to combine both text and variable, use the plus character. Okay? So paano kaya yung plus character? So, tignan nyo yung kanyang example. Okay, who can give the explanation of the code? Anybody? Mr. Gazingan, kindly give the explanation of the code.
Ma'am, dun po sa system out na print line, ma'am. Basically, ipiprint out niya yung hello plus yung name at saka kung ano yung variable na nasa name. Kung ano yung data na nasa name, ma'am, which is Jan. So the output would be hello, Jan.
Okay, very good. So that's how the output of this code below. Okay, so you can have the plus character to do that. So tandaan nyo yan ha, the plus character. Okay. So, sangingay ng aso. Okay, take a look at the example. So you can also use the plus character to add a variable to another variable. Okay, let's say for example, string first name, okay, set, string, last name, gumarang. And then if you will want to put the two texts or output the first name and the last name, you can use the plus sign. Okay, so string full name plus last name, and then it will print the full name. Okay, sandali lang ah. Okay, ayan. So, sorry for the interruption. Ang hirap mag-assist ng grade 1 sa online class. Okay? So, ayan. So, displaying a variable. Okay, so for numeric values, the plus character works as a mathematical operator. So, notice that we use the int integer variables here. Okay, so tignan nyo siya. So, int x is equals to 5. Andito na tayo sa integer variables. Okay? And then int is equals to x. So, system out print is the x plus y. So, print the value of x. So, what's the answer? Are you still with me? Anong answer natin dito?
Eleven, ma.
11. Diba? Kasi nga ang addition, i-add lang niya yung x and y niya, and then print the value of x is the 11. Okay? So, this is, it displays the value of 11 for the x plus y. Okay, for numeric ito ha. Nasa numeric na tayo. Kanina, ito is sa string. Or for the string or character. Okay? So, numeric. Okay, so declare. Okay, so declare. Ay, sandali lang. declaring many variables. Ano kayang pagkaiba nito? What's the output?
This, 61?
Eden Joe.
61?
61, ma'am.
61. Okay? So kanina we use the two variables. Ngayon naman is many variables. So by using also the plus sign, and you have to give the value of the int and the x and the y and the z. Okay, so pwede naman dyan, hindi lang x, y. Pwede ding a is equals 5, b is equals 6, okay, d is equals to 58, mga ganyan. Okay, so that's how we declare many variables. Okay, how about identifiers? Okay, so kindly input your answer here in the chat box.
Ano po yung sasagutan, ma'am?
Anong output nito? Okay, ano? So, all Java variable must be identified with the unique names. Okay? So, these unique names are called identifiers. So, identifiers can be short names like X and Y, or maybe descriptive names by age, okay, sum, total, volume. Okay, example. Take a look at the example. Sorry.
Ma'am, M is not recognized, ma'am.
Ano? Hindi that here?
M is not recognized.
Come again?
M is not recognized, ma'am.
M is not recognized. Why is it M is not recognized?
Hindi siya nga. Walang 60.
Ma'am, kasi minutes per hour po yung naka-identify as integer, ma'am. Hindi po
Okay.
na-define yung M.
Hindi na-identify. So, dagdagan nyo dyan. May kulang lang dyan. That's the answer. Any other hand naman, lagi na lang si B, si Christian, sino ba yung mga nagre-recite? Si Dave, Iverson. Ako, wala. Bababa ang grade nyo sa akin ngayong object-oriented programming. Kindly fix the code. So if you are using the online compiler right now, okay, next. Bago tayo pupunta sa activity. Angelo Tolentino, naayos na yung mic? Anybody? Okay, because ano bang meron dito sa program? So these unique names are called identifiers. So in-identify niya lang, okay? Identifiers can be short name like Y and X and Y, and more descriptive names like age, sum, and total volume. Okay? So, going back is, check natin yung answers nyo later on. So, the general rules. So, what are the general rules? Okay, in constructing names for variables identifiers. So, names can contain letters, digits, underscores, and dollar signs. So, tandaan nyo yan. Names must begin with a letter. Names should start with a lowercase letter, and it cannot contain white space. Okay? Names can be also begin with dollar sign and but will not use in this tutorial or in this PowerPoint. Okay? So names are case sensitive. Pwede natin siyang ibigay ng my car and my var and my var. So pwedeng ganyan, tama? Okay, so magkaiba daw yung dalawang variables na yan. So, pwedeng ganito or pwedeng ganyan. And then, reserved words like Java keywords such as int or boolean cannot be used as names. Okay? Yan. So, that's the end of the module 2. Did you understand the lesson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, si B lang ata nakaintindi. Naintindihan ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Christian said yes. Okay, now, this exercise, I want you to write down the correct answer. Okay? You get your paper and a ball pen. Write down the correct answer and then you're going to check your answer after giving the first problem. So, this is 2 points per each item. Okay? So, number 1. Create a variable named FM name and assign the value iPhone to it. O sige, ganito na lang. Sa online compiler nyo na lang gawin, screenshot nyo every item. Because I will require you later to send all the outputs in the chat box. Or mas magandang sulat na lang kasi i-check natin para makita ko yung score nyo. Okay? Paper and a ball pen. Number 1. Do number 1 now.
The variable name and assign them.
Okay, para makita ko those who are writing. Okay. Wait lang, wag nyo munang isa-send sa chat box. Kompletuhin muna natin 1 to 5 before you will send. Okay, let me see.
Isa-send na?
Where are your ball pens and papers? Okay na, let's check. Are you done? Okay, check your answer Dun sa paper nyo, are you done? Napaka-easy lang nung na problem number 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next. Check your answer. Okay, picturean nyo later on. Okay, yung after checking the answer, picturean nyo tapos send in the chat box. Okay, kung sinong nakakuha. So, answer is string FM name equals to iPhone. Okay, FM name means mobile phone.
System.
Correct? Okay, send your answer in the chat box. Let me see. Be honest,
Ma'am, di ba dapat may quotation, ma'am? Dun sa iPhone.
Yes, wala lang kasi ang hirap mag-code sa PowerPoint, okay? Sige na.
Sige, ma'am.
Mali. System out print. May system out print. Ay, nako.
Chelsea Cyril Estrella. Goodbye, teacher. Goodbye, classmates. See you tomorrow. Hi, see you tomorrow. Get ready for your meeting. Opo, teacher. Kasi ang kalaban natin first. O Dara Magila. Dara.
Isa pa lang nag-send.
Bye, Dara. Tomorrow. Brilliant King Goyano.
Mali ako. Kulang sa akin.
Walang magsisend ng output sa chat, sa messenger. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, number 2. Ang tagal. Close na ang number 1.
Ma'am, nakamit na, ma'am.
Sorry, okay? Close na ang number 1. So those who have not submitted, no points. Tagal niyong mag-send. O, parang di na kayo marunong magsulat. O, ano ba yan? Di ko maintindihan ang sulat niyo. Benjel Batung. Di ko maintindihan. Okay, very good. John Paulos. Okay, no erasures. Okay, very good. Okay, next, number 2.
Okay na yun.
Create a variable named maximum speed and assign the value 120 to it. Okay, go. So, hanggang yung number 1 is hanggang kay Kate Daniel, sumabat lang ha. Ang tagal nung iba. Okay, ibig sabihin 0 na yung mga iba. Okay, starts with number 2. Answer. Amadeus, please write it in your paper.
Ma'am, hindi kasi naka-online sa ma-online sa phone tong ano ko, ma'am. Tong Teams ko. Dito sa app siya naka-online.
Sige.
Ma'am, ilan po ulit yung i-assign na ano? Value?
120. Maximum speed. 120.
System out print pa ba?
Okay na? Okay, let me see. Answer is? Okay, sino yung end ng number 2? Tignan ko nga. Nire-record ko ha. Sinusulat ko dito. Okay. So, the last one who sent the answer is Alvita. Miss Alseco. Okay, sige. Humahabol si Felipe. Okay, okay, stop. Let me see. The correct answer is? Ayan. Okay, so integer, max speed is equals to 120. Of course, included ang double quote.
Mali.
Walang double quote kay... O, Julius, ba't ikaw naman muna hindi double quote? Meron bang double quote or wala? Okay, let me see.
Wala, ma'am.
Wala po dapat, ma'am.
Wala kasi ano siya? Why there's no double quote?
Ma'am, kasi integer siya, ma'am.
Integer. Okay, saka lang tayo magda-double quote if it is string. Okay? Next, stop. Okay, the last one who said is Ivan. Okay, hanggang kay Ivan, kabaddo. Yung mga iba, nagpakopya lang siguro.
Ma'am, hindi ba dito sa meeting chat ilalagay, ma'am?
Meeting chat nga. Meeting box. Meeting chat. Tama. Dito sa meeting room natin.
Yung
sige
sa
na,
my
habol.
ma'am? Dalawa kasi nagpapakita sa akin, ma'am, yung dito sa app, yung sa may conversation, may
Pero
nagko-comment.
nakita ko yung tinype mo, Madeus.
Sige.
Nag-type ka lang. Sige, okay lang. Sige, next. Number 3. Ayun na, tanong PowerPoint ko. Meron na? Display the sum of 5 plus 10 using two variables of x plus y. Or x and y. Okay? Sinabi ko na yung sagot. Okay, the answer is? Wala pang nag-send? Okay, si Hans, si Neil. Okay, stop. So, the answer is? So, ano yung sagot doon sa taas ng boxes?
Int, ma'am.
X.
Int, ma'am.
Int x is equals to 5. Int y is equals to 10, correct? And then system output print ln x plus y. Mali si Daniel dun sa print niya. Okay? So, dapat system out. Mali. Okay, stop. Okay, the last answer that will be recognized will be, okay, tignan nga natin. Stop na ha. Si Angelo Tolentino. Okay, last one will be Angelo. Okay, stop sending. So, nako, nahirapan ako na magbasa dito pag ganyan. Okay, system out print lm x plus y. Correct, Angelo? Okay, si Levita. Okay, correct. Ayusin nyo naman yung pag-picture nyo nga. Ako, pahirapan nyo ako ha. Okay, system out print. Okay, x plus y. Sige. Correct. Robin. Pero yung print maliit na letter yun. Yung P. Okay, Nes, Aaron. Okay. Okay, very good. So, until kay, na-recognize until kay, sino yung sinabi ko kanina?
Angelo, ma'am.
Angelo. Okay, next, number 4. Create a variable z assigned as x plus y to it and display the result. Okay. So, ano kaya yung sagot dito sa 3 boxes? Sige, para mabilis.
Create a variable C.
Let me see the answer. Wala pa. Sorry, ma'am. Mahina kasi net, ma'am. Sige lang. Okay. Si Kate, Daniel, already done. Int, ano yung X and ano yung mo, Daniel? Okay, sige. Si Daniel pa lang. Sige, si Kate. Naku, pabaliktad naman kay Kate. Okay. Sige. Sa Ivan.
Mali yung sa akin.
Nakikita ko yung mga operate sa classes ko May mabilisan. Okay, Batong.
Mali yung
Okay,
sa akin.
Batong. Angel, kahit di mo na ilagay yung print is equals to 20 kasi nga meron naman na siyang system out print ln. Okay? Angel, ha?
Yes, ma'am.
New student ka ba, Benjel?
Returnee po, ma'am.
Ay, returnee. Anong year ka ba nag-stop?
First year.
Anong year?
First year po, ma'am.
Kabatch mo na sila yung mga third year ngayon?
Opo, ma'am. Kabatch ko na
sige.
sana po.
Sige, okay lang yan. Di diretso mo na yan kasi mahirap. Baka bumalik ka sa senior high niyan. Kung mag-i-stop ka pa ulit, ha?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay. The last one will be recognized where the answer is Eden Jo. Batin. Sorry. Okay. Sige, pumasok nakahabol sila Neil and Emalyn. Okay, stop.
Mali pa.
Stop now. Okay, correct. Si Mr. Laod. Okay, system out print ln is Z. Okay, so check nyo yung mga sagot nyo. Yung mga iba nilagay na nila yung 15. Okay, kaya nga meron tayong print ln. Diba? Kasi ang sabi natin is variable Z ang i-display niya. Okay, very good. Dave Iverson, Santiago. Correct? Okay, correctness. Okay, si Neil naman, dapat yung 15 is Z kasi nagbigay ako ng variable na Z. Okay? The same with Mr. Batin. Christian, correct? Okay. And Robin, dapat Z yung 15. Okay. So, Levita is supposed to be Z. Dave, Agabin, okay, correct, but the variable is Z. Okay, correct. B, Alonzo. Okay, C, yan, correct. Paulos, Gazingan. Ay, okay, wait, bago ko makalimutan, B, Paulos, and Daniel, yung link daw is mag-activate sa, kailan ba yung sinabi ni Dean? Sa 9 ata. Try nyo ulit sa 9. Okay, October 9. Ha?
Okay.
Yes. And then we will also ask if everybody can join. Kasi magandang topic naman yun Hindi lang naman dapat Tingnan natin kung lahat kayo maka-join doon sa seminar, ha? Second year. Okay, correct. Aloysius Romero, okay, check. Okay, very good. Yan, nakikita ko na ngayon kung sino yung talagang nagpa-participate sa classes ko. Okay. Ma'am, hindi po ako makasend ng answer ko. I-type mo na lang yung sagot mo. Okay, Mr. Gatan, baka wala ka pang na-submit kahit isa. Wala kang score niyan. Okay, last one, number 5. Mr. Gatan, habol ka, type the answer in the chat box. Okay? Number 5, fill the missing parts to create the 3 variables of the same type using a comma-separated list. Okay? Take note, comma, separated list. Okay, so yan. So what's the answer?
Ay, 6 ay 50.
Okay, stop. Simple lang yung sagot dito. Sige nga, sige, send pa kayo. Sige, mag-send na lang din.
Ay, walang kama. Kamali ako dun, walang kama.
Okay, stop. The answer is and tapos yung comma lang kasi separator, comma separated list ang hinahanap ko. Okay? Comma x equals to 6, comma and z is equals to 15. Be, patingin. Okay, oh, very good, Ivan. Next time, ayusin nyo yung pagka-picture niya, ah. Okay, now,
Ma'am, ang sinabi ko lang dun, tas dalawang kama, ma'am, kasi walang time.
sige, sige. Okay, so very good. So congratulations those who completed the 5 activities. Okay, yung consistent na nakapag-send dito sa chat. Okay, so I will get all these names to be included as the class standing. Okay, now please open any compiler. Maingay ang aso. Shh. Open your compiler Java. It's time for us to do the hands-on now. Okay, so we will continue the topic. So, hindi ko natapos to. Have an advanced reading of control structures. Ito yung mga conditional. Loop, if, else. Okay, sa Java. Okay, next meeting. Ayan, ha? So, now mag hands-on muna tayo. Please open any compiler. Meron na kayo? Okay, please open your compiler. Do you have already? Okay, problem number 1. Ready na? Ready na yung compiler nyo? Okay, write down the problem. Number 1 is sandali, hindi ko ma-open yung aking file. Wait lang. Nandito sa isang computer ko. Sandali lang. Oo, ma. Okay, number 1. Write a Java program to print the sum of two numbers. Okay. Ang gusto ko, A is equals to 74. B is equals to 36. So, write a Java program to print the sum of numbers. A is equals to 74 and B is equals to 36. Very easy. Okay? Teka nagahang itong isang laptop ko. Okay, next, number 2. Okay, write a Java program to print the result of the following operations. Again, type nyo. Write a Java program to print the result of the following operations. Okay, ano yung operations na yun? Okay, na A. Letter A. A is equals to negative 5 plus 8 times 6.
Plus 6.
Ma'am, paulit ma'am. Pwede kasi choppy.
Write a Java program to print the result of the following operations. Okay, so ilagay ko nga sa group chat. The A is negative 5 plus 8 times 6. B is 55. Type ko na lang. Sige, ready nyo muna yung mga compiler nyo. Okay, so that's the number 2. Nasa group chat, ABC. Yun yung ABC niya, okay? Write a Java program to print the following operations. Okay, number 3. Write a Java program that reads number in inches, converts it to meter. Program that reads a number inches and converts in meter. Okay, screenshot nyo yung sagot nyo, ha? And then, upload nyo mamaya sa assignment tab. Okay, number 4. Teka. Hindi naman na kasi gumagalaw ito. Okay, next, number 4 is okay, write a program that reads a number and display do not copy your codes from the internet, ha. Gusto ko makita yung mga variables na tinuro ko kanina. Okay, so 5 only. Okay, so 5 only. Screenshot your codes and the output. So all assignments will be at 11 o'clock. Okay, so can we leave now? Ay, sandali lang, di ko pa na-check yung attendance. Para ano na sana. Can we leave now para after checking the attendance, we can leave? Okay. Para mas mabilis kayo mag-send. Okay, say present ah. Agabin,
Present, ma'am.
Alonzo,
Present, ma'am.
Alseco,
Present, ma'am.
Araw,
Present po.
Batung,
Present po, ma'am.
Kabaddo,
Present po, ma'am.
Cristobal, De Leon, parang wala si De Leon ngayon.
Yes, ma'am. Wala siya, ma'am.
Wala. Okay, Felipe, present. Gatan, Bazingan, present. Gragasin, parang wala akong nakita kay Gragasin ngayon.
Brown out po sa kanila, ma'am.
Meron ba si Gragasin?
Ito sa kanila,
Wala.
ma'am.
Kahit sa engagement niya sa chat, parang wala, no? Gragasin, are you there? Wala.
Ma'am, brown out sa kanila, ma'am.
Ay, brown out. Okay, Ibos.
Yes, ma'am.
Ibos. Wala rin si
Ma'am, di ko
Ibos.
gumagana ang mic daw niya, ma'am.
Next time, yung mga hindi gumagana ang mic, i-absent ko na. Paulit-ulit na lang. 2 years na tayong nag-online class. Yan pa rin ang problema ninyo. You use your 2 devices. Pwedeng kung may computer kayo, i-open nyo rin sa cellphone nyo para may backup kayo. Ako nga, 3 devices nga gamit ko eh. Okay, that's not the reason. Okay, next is Julian, Laod.
Present, ma'am.
Julian, parang wala si Julian ngayon. Angeline. Absent. Okay.
Ma'am, malakas na ulan sa kanila, ma'am.
Malakas ang i-note mo na lang, Christian, okay? Liban,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Libaw,
Present, ma'am. Libaw.
Maningas, Victor, wala. Maramag, Carl.
Ma'am, present po, ma'am.
Okay, present. Penya, ay sis. Penya, hindi ko pa na-add to, no?
Yes, ma'am. Di pa na dyan, ma'am.
Sige. Peralta, Perucho. Parang wala si Winray ngayon.
Present, ma'am.
Kuwa, Kinagoran, Ranyada, Kinagoran, Daryl. Wala. Kinagoran. Wala. Ranyada. Wala din si Ranyada ah. Si Romero, meron. Sumabat. Tabu.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Tamayaw, Tolentino. Aggabaw.
Present, ma'am.
Daya. Batin, Cepeda,
Present, ma'am.
and Furigay.
Present.
Whose name was not called?
Kabakungan, ma'am.
Ako
Ay,
po.
Kabakungan. Sandali.
May yung mga ano, ma'am.
Kabakungan
Ilocos,
din. Ilocos pa pala, sorry. Dali. Christian, may copy ka ng sa mga Ilocos? Sino yung ano, i-note mo na lang yung mga nagpaalam na malakas ang ulan, ha? Si Dave Iverson, nandito naman siya. Okay, sandali. Okay, Dave Ivers, Amoyo, Chester, Amoyo. Amoyo.
Absent, ma'am.
Si Chester parang hindi pa nag-attend ito sa klase. Last time nag-attend ba ito? Anong nangyari kay Chester? Mga Ilocos group. Mia Emeline Saraos. Anong nangyari kay Chester Amoyo?
Ma'am, wala naman po siyang sinasabi, ma'am. Siguro baka walang kuryente din dun, ma'am, kasi sa vegan kasi, ma'am, wala.
May bagyo ba sa vegan ngayon? O malakas lang din ang ulan?
Wala, ma'am.
Okay.
Power interruption lang po, ma'am.
Sige. Gabrilio Patricia May.
Absent, ma'am.
Christian, pakicheck nga ito. Parang hindi din nag-attend to nung last time. I-report natin sa din nila. Pati Amadeus, okay, dito si Pati Amadeus. He is also participating in the class discussion.
Present ako, ma'am. Gumagawa na ako ng ano.
Sige. Quitevis, Jan Aaron, naayos ko na account mo, Jan Aaron.
Sa akin, ma'am, pwedeng pa-reset na lang yung sa akin, ma'am.
Sandali. Wait lang, Jan Aaron. Wala rin kuryente sa kanila? Absent
Yes,
din? Nako, okay, sige. I-report, pakisabi, Miss Saraos, mag-report sila kay Christian kung anong nangyari sa kanila.
Yes, ma'am.
And then Santiago Dave, okay, itong si Santiago, laging nag-a-attend to sa klase ko, very good tong si Santiago, from the beginning pa ito. Okay? And Saraos, Mia Emeline.
Present, ma'am.
Ayan. Okay, so
Ako rin, ma'am, nung simula pa meron na ako.
Oo, Amadeus din. Amadeus, anong sabi mong i-reset ko?
Yung password ko, ma'am, kasi dito lang sa naka-online ako sa sa app, ma'am, hindi ko mabuksan dito sa phone. Nandito lang ako sa computer para may
Sabado na lang kasi baka mahirap i-reset hindi ka maka-join sa mga ibang classes mo.
Sige, ma'am. Para may camera rin ako, ma'am, kasi sa desktop lang ako.
Itong si Amoyo Chester, hindi na naman nag-attend ito.
Ma'am, nag-attend siya ng first meeting ito, ma'am.
Meron siya. Okay,
Yes,
sige.
ma'am.
Baka nawalan siguro ng kuryente din sa kanila.
Guess
Okay.
ang ginamit niya account, ma'am,
Ayan. Until 11 lang ang output, or 11:30. Okay, do you have any questions so far? Sige, until 11:30. Okay, can we now leave? See you on Wednesday for another topic. So, i-upload ko lahat ng slides ko. You review, I might give a quiz. Next meeting. Okay? Okay, so goodbye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye and thank you.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.